Caption is going. Okay. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session. Delighted to see everyone today. We have our regular Crunch students joining us, as well as I think some previous Crunch students as well. So really happy to see everyone here. And we have external participants in this public talk who also share an interest in learning analytics. So welcome, welcome one, welcome all. For those of you who are not familiar with Crunch, this is a subject in UTS's Graduate Certificate in Learning Design, and this subject focuses on learning analytics for learning design. Well, this session is part of our weekly Crunch live sessions. We have opened it up as it is a great opportunity to share with the broader community who is interested in this space. Now, today we have an engaging session to look forward to with Dr. Siamak Mirzaei joining us to share about his work in this space. Siamak is an educator and researcher at the University of South Australia Online and a member of the Change and Complexity in Learning. In this session, Siamak will be taking us through the design and implementation of ChatMate, a generative AI and analytics platform designed to enhance feedback and student engagement in higher education. Drawing on real-world use cases at the University of South Australia, Siamak's presentation will highlight how ChatMate integrates with learning design to support personalized, data-informed feedback loops. The talk will cover the pedagogical rationale, ethical considerations, and the considerations of embedding Gen AI tools within online learning environments, as well as future directions for responsible and scalable use of learning analytics and AI in learning design. I understand that you will also have the opportunity to explore ChatMate during this session, so that's something to look forward to. In the final part, we'll definitely have some time for Q&A, so please feel free to drop your questions in the chat anytime throughout the presentation. We'll be keeping an eye on the chat and we'll bring up your questions during our Q&A time. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lisa. I'm the teacher for Crunch, and once again, welcome to everyone. All right, then, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Siamak for his talk. Siamak, over to you.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Lisa, for the opportunity and the great introduction. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today online. I would also like to pay my respect to elders past and present. So I have some slides which will potentially help us with facilitating this session easier. I'm going to share them shortly. So here they are. So can everyone see my slides confirming that? That would be great. Thank you for that. So basically, today we are going to go through the tool that we have been working on almost the last 2 years at UniSA for teaching and learning. It's called ChatMate. It's a generative AI and learning analytics platform designed at UniSA C3L. I have one slide to acknowledge the team working behind this as well, so that'll be coming up later. It can support formative assessment, feedback, student engagement, etc. It combines generative AI with analytics dashboards for evidence-based teaching, and it is used across multiple online and hybrid courses here at UniSA and some other institutions as well. If you just search for, ChatMate C3L, that should potentially bring up the page. If you want to have a look at what it looks like, I'll just do that for you like this. That should bring up this. And I will give you some details to access the platform in the session today. So what is it? Basically, it's a generative AI platform for schools and universities. It supports the student and staff with AI-driven tools, with creation of chatbots, which again, I'll show you what they mean. They are designed for secure and effective educational use within a controlled environment. So why do we need to use it? We can enhance the student engagement experience through a generative AI tool. It's not having some privacy related issues like ChatGPT or other LLMs, because this is controlled within universities environments. A similar tool to this is Cogniti. You probably have heard the name. This automates routine academic support tasks as well through creation of chatbots. It can provide personalized on-demand assistance, and it can help develop students' digital and AI literacy. So some of the key features, it's easy to integrate into LMS, no matter you're using Canvas, Moodle, Blackboard, or any other LMS tools. You can easily integrate it with iframes. It gives you a link for iframe, and then you can embed that there. Students just log in and start using the tool. It's secure and private. The data and users data specifically are hosted within the institution's servers, so there is no data privacy implications. And it has some detailed analytics platform and sub-platforms that you can use for gaining some insights for future and current students, and basically you can make required changes accordingly. And you can attach files, and as I said, you can have a look at the platform and start using it maybe in the next 10-15 minutes after I go through some slides, and you will see for yourself. Now, how it all started for me. So as other educators, I use a lot of tools, including classroom assessment techniques, Modis points, minute papers, self-reflection tasks, etc. in my classes. And it was 2 years ago that Vito, the project lead, associate professor, Vito, basically, he told me that there is this tool and I can potentially use it for what I'm doing in my classroom. So basically, before I was using this, I can show you an example in one of my courses that I'm delivering now. So I was using Modis points and minute paper activities like this one. So essentially so for weekly material, that would look like this. So there was just one single question. What was the Modis point about this week, that the students would put their, answers there. This is an innovative approach as well, because usually this is done on pen and paper, but I was doing this online. Or same thing for assessments. So let's say for assessment, maybe 2.1, which is already done, students would put responses to a couple of questions that I was asking them regarding their progress, clarity, difficulties, or improvement for the assessment. And then based on this, I would hold Zoom sessions or some other mediums like weekly Modis Point forum posts to address the students' concerns. So this is the old way of doing this. And then I learned about Chatmate. I started to do the same thing with Chatmate. The benefits over this was this could be automated. I didn't have to go through this all the time. Students could interact with this 24/7, giving a little bit of context. I am working at UniSA Online. We have fully online deliveries, and we are supporting students 24/7. So you're not there all the time, but Chatmate and the chatbots in Chatmate could be. Basically, the traditional feedback systems are static and delayed. Generative AI feedback is dynamic, contextual, and immediate. Chatmate links responses to outcomes and rubrics, which is a bit hard for me to do it when those questions from students are getting too much. And also, Chatmate promotes student agency and reflection. Essentially, it can help with a lot of the tasks that we do as educators, like providing feedback on clarity, reasoning, and structure. I am going to have a look at the chat as well in case there are any questions every now and then, but just feel free to unmute and ask me any questions you have. So regarding the learning analytics integrated in Chatmate, maybe I show you a little bit of that. About time to do that. So this is what it looks like. We have this platform which has all the general chatbots which are there. And if I created some chatbots myself, I can have a look at them here. These are just everyone's chatbots. As I am an organization admin, you can see all of those, but these are the ones that I've created. So let's have a look at this one, which is helping some of my students. So it's essentially having the same idea of Modis points, but through this. So basically, I could give it some instructions and say what I have this agent Kevin set up, it's just a name I made up, who is helping students with assessment 1.1. I gave it some instructions telling it these are the things that you need to have in mind, and I've uploaded some files here as well. And basically, I tell them, tell the chatbot, answer the students' questions, but do not give out the answer to the actual thing they are looking for. And there are some settings, etc., that are not really important for our chat today. And this is the iframe that I was telling you about. So basically, to use this one, the only thing I needed to do was to get that iframe tool and put it into Moodle. So let's go to this one that already has this set up and just embed it here as HTML code. So this is for another course, but yeah, would be essentially the same. So if I do this, that's the bit that I've copied from Chatmate. And then students, for the first time, I need to add them, but I can enable loginless as well, but I don't want it to be loginless because I want to track who has done what part. And then there is this nice feature which actually gives me some control over how innovative I want the answer to be, depending on the case study I'm using this for. So let's have a look at what it looks like actually. So here it is. So this is the assessment helper. I'm trying to and say, what is this assessment about? Just make this maybe zoom a little bit. And then I think I'm not logged in. Let me just check. No, I'm logged in. Good. So gives me some answer about this was an Excel assessment for a course, Information Technology Fundamentals. Now I say, can you prepare the report for me? They needed to do a report. So basically asking the chatbot to do the assessment for me. And it says, no, I cannot do it because this is, if I say, please, please, I really need this. I really need this. Let's see what it responds. You know, no matter how hard you try, it just tries and says the same thing, I cannot help. Now, one good thing that we get here is, I'll just make this zoom out a little bit, is another thing which we have, like the educators have access to, which is this contract cheating for this specific instance. So I had to, you saw my name coming up there as well. Some students were asking for these, and then I would get an email to my UniSA email saying this person is trying to essentially use Chatmate for stuff which is not aligned with academic integrity practices. So maybe they've done this a couple of times, maybe pat them on the back and say, what are you doing? Don't do it, please. Similarly, we have a well-being check-in as well for our students and staff. And if they put in something which is harmful, like I want to commit suicide, then we would get an email. Same thing, we can pat them on the back. What's happening? Do you need any help? Do you need any consultation? These are the services which are available, etc. So going back to the slides. Now, in where I work, UO, we started working on this in SB3, which is like 6 months ago, 6 months, 8 months ago. And we have got really good traction since then. We have 29 active chatbots across your courses, including my own courses. We have more than 12 plus online lecturers, online course facilitators working on this. Total number of chatbots, which are just used, for example, for staff exploring stuff, is 100 plus, but the active ones which are shared with the students are 29. We are covering different disciplines like IT, business, health sciences, media, education, engineering on top of my head. And as a result of this, if I want to say something really, in a nutshell, it's we have fewer repetitive questions coming from the students, and basically improve satisfaction of the students as well because they get the response they're looking for right away. Thank you for your comments, Spice. Now, basically regarding your question. So the question is, love the learning analytics functions of ChatMate. Do students use these via your LMS with embedded ChatMate code, or do they use ChatMate directly? That's a good question. Basically, both options are available. So if they want to use it through LMS, once they sign in, the only problem that we have is the cookies, which should be enabled, which is enabled now. That's why you can see this, which will be solved soon. I'll let you know about that as well. But basically, they sign in here once, and they can just start using it. Then there is a button here after they sign in, which is open in ChatMate. They can get the full experience. So up to them. And this is responsive. So if you're using a mobile device, still, that works really well. Now, regarding the analytics, I can go here and maybe use the same one that I had. Was it this one that I was showing? I think it was this one. And I need to put this, was it last 6 months? Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is giving me a word cloud of what the students were asking. I can select the users and see what they've been using and how they've been using it. You see, one student has been using it for a really long time and many times. And yeah, I can see what time they were using it and how they were using it for. And this is really helpful to see why the weekly usage, with usage, etc. At the same time, I can download some of this data as well. There is topic modeling, and we are developing this and adding more stuff to it. But this is really nice. So I can get user input, AI response, and I'll just make it all users. It's going to take a little bit of time, but basically, too many stuff maybe. When was it? Let's just make it user input. So basically, this is giving me a summary of what they have put in there rather than everything. Yeah, like this. It's not their exact wording for privacy reasons. It's just telling me what are the topics which were discussed. So I get an idea of what's happening. So Alice is asking, sorry if I've missed, can students upload any documents in the chatbot? They can upload documents to the chatbot as well as part of, you see, there is this button. So if they have their assessment done and they want feedback on it, they can just upload it here. Okay. So like this, and then they type in and then they press enter. That's how they do it. They cannot create chatbots. So chatbot creation is only for educators because there's no point for them to create chatbots. Are there any copyright concerns if they upload PDFs of journal articles? It really depends on what you are putting in there. When you are first trying to use ChatMate, you will see this one as well. There is a disclaimer like this, like any other tool that you use. So really good question. The reason we put this here is just for such implications. And if there are copyrighted material, we do our best to go through and check. And if there is something of concern, we try to let them know. Now, Ram is asking, is the use of ChatMate mandatory for students or is it optional? Really good question, Ram. So far in some of, because this is again, this will be going through for the new university, Adelaide University, which is starting January 2026. And with the new university policies, we can use generative AI as part of our assessments, like make it mandatory to do the assessment through generative AI. The main reason for that is we want our students to be ready for future workforce, to have skills for generative AI. This is what I always tell my students. AI is not going to replace you. It's going to be a person who knows how to use AI to replace you. So if you learn how to use AI, probably have a better chance of getting a job, hopefully. So yeah, and so far in my courses, I've used it optionally, not mandatory, but I know another course has used this mandatory. I can show you the stats and the difference between that as well, because when they have to use it, I'll just show you that. Look at that. That would be the number of times that the students have used it, which is like crazy. Oh, not just mine, everyone. See the numbers? These are really big numbers, some of those, just because they had to use it. So yeah, that's a good idea. Now, Simon is asking, are you archiving all transcripts or optionally, and who has access to them? Really good question. When we are setting up the chatbots, basically there are some options to archive them or not. So I'll just go to the groups to show you that feature. Basically, for this one, for example, I have set there are these specific chatbots, and I want it to expire at a set time. If that's the point, they will expire and we won't archive those. But if we want to keep them, we will keep them. These are all managed by organization admins, and it really depends on the organization and who their admins are. Basically, another feature that we have is, so you see this as AU, you can customize all of these as well. This could be like another institutions, we can change everything here and so on. So that's another thing to consider. Like the logo would be different, the coloring, the fonts, etc. All those could be different as well. Okay. So based on Ram's questions for the assessments that embrace generative AI, do students require only to use the tools like ChatMe, or other university endorse AI tools only? So basically our AI policy says if they use any tools, it's a good idea that they acknowledge and put that in the references. This is UniSA's AI policy. I think they can probably bring it up here. Yeah, also in this policy. But, you know, it really depends on the course as well. Some courses do not allow use of AI at UniSA, while some do. Now, the difference would be with chatbot, what we do with Chatmate, what we do, our chatbots have some specific instructions, have some specific files, and if the students are asking some questions which the answers would be basically something that they shouldn't be asking about academic integrity wise, we will let them know. But if it is ChatGPT, they might, cross the red lines, and that would be where the problems are. They might even get the wrong answers because ChatGPT goes through, different online resources, whereas we have provided limited resources to these chatbots, for example, so that the proper and correct answers are provided. Okay, so that would be the difference. Now, Antoinette says, is the data approved for LA research, and do students give consent for specific bits of data logs other than logging for operational use? Yes, mainly this is, as of now, a research project. Early 2026, this will be a UniSA, Adelaide University tool that we will be using. And as you see, the example disclaimer, the students are made aware of this tool, and also we let them know that some of their data is basically gathered. The only thing we get from them is their name and UniSA email for now, which is nothing that you cannot really find on their LinkedIn accounts. So everything that I put into chats, it's exactly like working with any other LLM. It gathers those, but for the purpose of education, and this is hosted within the institutions, in our case, UniSA's servers, so it's all safe. Okay, I think I've covered all the questions. If I've missed out on your question, please feel free to ask again or let me know, or just unmute and let me know. Going back to the slides. So that was about your chatmate. Now, so far, this is what we've done. The broader adoption is we want to roll out this across AU and partner institutions, some schools maybe, some other institutions, some higher education institutions. Now, for future, what happens is we are going to have LTI integration, meaning that we can use this like any other tools that we have at UniSA. So it's like a dashboard that we have all the students' details in there already, and then we just select the courses and classes, and then we can use Chatmate for that specific purpose. So that's the future plan. It is approved for happening in early next year, and yeah, that's not an issue for us regarding implementing these changes. So some of the challenges and learnings, basically institutional approval and governance was a little bit of pain in the neck for us. It took a long time to get all this working. The accuracy and transparency in AI feedback required a lot of, back-end development and, revising what they had, etc. The ethical use and fairness has been, again, a little bit challenging for us to get it up to a standard. At the same time, have all the ethical consideration as much as possible embedded into platform. A staff capability building, because our staff do not have the same ability when it comes to use of AI and basically technology. So we had to prepare a lot of PDFs to help them, educate them, run training sessions to help them with setting up the stuff and using the stuff. And still, that's an ongoing process. The lesson learned is, the success of such projects really depends on people, policy, and pedagogy. Now, Mohsen is asking how the students co-authored work for the assessment graded. I know that you noted the bots do not provide answers, but still they get help from the bots. Really good question. So basically, these bots, the way we set them up are really important. Like the one that I had, it's set up in a way that it provides feedback on what the students submit to it. But at the same time, this feedback is not giving out the answers. So basically, if they have used the wrong language for a report and their audience was, let's say, technical or non-technical staff, that would be different. It will give them some prompts to essentially fix the given sections rather than fixing it for them. So basically it says you need to do this and they do this and they, this looks better now. Now maybe use these, and then they change it and now they say this is looking all right. So one of the research studies that we are doing now is to see if the students who have used these chatbots have had a higher grade than the students who did not use it. Again, this is a longitudinal study, and we want to do it for the next couple of study periods to see how that is going. Ram is asking, what sort of analysis is being undertaken with the data and the logs, and do you have any results that you could share? So basically, some of the analysis that we are doing is on how often they have used it, when they have used it, and then we want to interview students if we get enough participants to see why they were using it or why they were not using it. So that's one of the problems that we're facing now. Yes, a lot of students are using it, but when we say a lot of, that's maximum 20 to 30% of the cohort that we're sharing this with. What we have figured is with generative AI, it's a matter of trust, yes. And also it's a matter of, they don't want to share their data or whatever. But when this becomes like a university tool, then we can put this as part of the assessment and then they use it. Then we can do some sort of research like, okay, we have given them this tool. They know it works for them. They know it helps. Are they going to keep using it if it is an optional tool or not? Okay, so that's the sort of thing that we have in mind, Ram, but we don't have the data. We have collected the data, but we haven't done all the analysis as the study is still ongoing. Hopefully sometime early or mid next year, we will share our findings. Then Alice is asking, have you come across Cogniti developed at Sydney University? My institution is piloting its use now. If you know of Cogniti, what are the similarities and differences? To be honest, Cogniti, I did use it maybe a year ago myself, but for sure that has developed a lot since then. Back then, they had the same idea of chatbots, but I don't know if they had analytics or if they had some sort of similar things like this. I did try to have a look at their trial account a while ago, but nothing was working on the trial account. I understand probably their servers are busy, so that's why it wasn't working. It's on my plan, on my list of things to do to maybe ask for access to see how different that is. Because another thing that our institution is thinking about is maybe using the two tools at the same time to see how they are going. Okay. So Spice says, I like that the option is given to students to use it or not. Yes, I am the same. I would rather use this for formative assessment rather than summative assessment. This is a tool to help them, like on task, like any other tool. It's just a matter of choice to use it or not. I don't like the idea of forcing people to do stuff, to be honest. They can just use it for their own benefit. So these are the future direction. I'm not going to spend more time on this. No, I think we have discussed this to some extent. I have this little bit of here in case we want to discuss it for the next 5-10 minutes. Where do you see the most valuable role for generative AI analytics, feedback, engagement, or design? Let's discuss this as a group. What do you think? You can just put it in chat or just unmute and talk. Yes, Simon, please let us know what you think.
Thanks, Siamak. That's super interesting for us to see as we build up our own version of ChatMate here at UTS. So one question I have is about quality assurance of the chatbots. There seems to be a range of practices from a very controlled workflow before anybody can publish a chatbot to universities where, you know, a professor can deploy a bot if they've built one, but with who knows how much quality testing. So how are you thinking about that at Adelaide?
Really good question, Simon. So basically, at the earliest stages, what we're doing, we would ask our educators to let us know if they want to create a chatbot because, you know, we wanted to make sure that it is doing what it should do. And there are some general chatbots available which we have created for them to use. But to be honest, these are not for students, it's mainly for staff. Because when it comes to staff, there is more control on making sure they are using it as they should. But with the students, we had to make sure that they are using it the way that it was expected to use. So we have like pamphlets to tell our educators who are making chatbots how to make it, then test it out definitely after they have made it, and ask a couple of friends to have a look at what the output is. The good thing about chatbots is basically you can, so let's say I am going to this chatbot and it tells this is like a chatbot to help the students with industry experience, etc. If I ask questions myself, students would see the same things. Now, and a nice feature that I like about this one is we have some dummy users created. I can probably I just use some person. I'm not going to use anything, but basically we can log in as that dummy user and see what they see and try and test out the system the way they would see it before, giving this to our students. So that's what I always suggest. Test the system first, see if it works, try to break it as hard as you can. If you couldn't, then that's ready for sharing it with the students. But if this has to be gone through like university wide, a an approach for this would be maybe one of the units who is like we have teaching innovation unit here. One of the units who are working here is responsible for making sure that things are going as they should. And I'm sure like the admins of Chatmate are happy to provide access to them, like admin access to them to overlook everything. It's the same idea like academic integrity, and we have academic integrity officers at university to take care of these sorts of things. Now, another thing we were discussing today in a meeting we had was a lot of the other university systems which we currently use can be actually facilitated through such a tool which automates things really easily as well. For example, one of the problems we have now at UniSA, I'm an academic integrity officer myself, is the ratio of our academic integrity officers to the cases which are created every day is really low. So we end up having delays in getting back to those cases. Such a tool can be used definitely to help with those areas where we provide proper instructions to a chatbot and say, this is a case which is reported. This is what the student has submitted. Now, can you verify if it is a true academic integrity case or not? This will be like an assistant which is used by a human user. This is not going to make any decisions, okay? Just to make things easier for us.
Okay, thanks.
No.
Something we're exploring is, automated testing of the bots to try and, there are certain things you can test automatically, and then there are things that only a subject matter expert can test.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the plan. And also some other features that we are exploring now, like the one that I told you about, the well-being check-in or contract cheating. This has the ability to send emails to staff email as well. So for some specific, red flags, that could be used as well.
Thanks.
No worries. Okay, Antoinette has put, I assume this is Microsoft Azure infrastructure, wondering about its scalability in terms of operation costs for the university when large cohorts use chatbot. It's actually on AWS, but the plan is to move it to Azure. No difference really with the cloud infrastructure. As long as there is support from university, the cost wouldn't really be much because the cost of having students use an external platform which is not governed by us and all those privacy concerns would be much more than using this. The good thing about this is we can select which engine to use when setting this up. I'm sure you're familiar that these different engines have different capabilities, and you don't really need a, let's say, strong engine for something small you do. For example, we have one person who is using a chatbot in his course for just helping students paraphrase sentences that they have. That would be different with a person who requires students to upload UML images to mark it and give feedback on them. So you can select these, and we have 5 in our test backend as well. We will roll that out as well. But basically, each of these are good for specific purposes. DeepSeek here is not the one that's from China, so no concerns on that. That's on AWS Bedrock at USA. So yeah, we have had this question like, why are you using DeepSeek? DeepSeek is the model that we're using. It's not the DeepSeek which is having some privacy concerns. Oh, GPT-5 is here as well. I thought it's not rolling to the actual platform yet. Good. Okay, I think it's time to get some hands-on experience. Just before that, I want to acknowledge the team which is working on this as well. And here are my details. You search my name, you'll get my email and LinkedIn. Happy to help you with any queries you have if you want to test it out for more. Now, if Lisa can kindly share this with everyone attending, time for some hands-on experience with Chatmate. If you click on that link that is shared on chat and use demo, so I'll show you how to do that as well. So this is the code, demo, and that was like this. Yeah. And just add your email, first name, last name. You should receive an email to set your password. Please set your password and you can explore using Chatmate. Let me see if I have an email that I can use this for. I've used all my emails for different purposes, so which one? Did I use this one? I don't think I've used this before. Oh, I've already used this one as well. So another one maybe. Um, So sign in, and okay, you should be seeing the same thing if you have already done the steps. If you haven't signed up without the demo, that might not work. I suggest you use another email to use this one because this has 20 days expiry. The other trial accounts do not have the same thing. No worries, Simon. Thanks for attending. No worries, Ram. Thanks for attending as well. So basically, this is what you see. I'm going to show you how to create a chatbot in case you want to create one. Now I'll go to chatbots. Here you see the new button. I'll go with this. Now let's name it whatever. Any ideas for the name? What do we want this chatbot to do? Maybe we want it to do time management. Yeah, not a bad idea. Time management chatbot or bot. And then we need to do some user instruction. So if we don't know what user instruction is, we just hover over this and it says provide the instruction that the students will follow when engaging with the chatbot. Okay. So basically what the students will see when they are using this chatbot. So for example, I can put this. Hi, what are you trying to work on? Now, this repeat instruction is, do you want it to repeat the instruction again and again every time they open it, or do you want it to go on as it should? We can have auto-generated description as well, or just put something in there. So I'll just put this here. Oh, sure, I'll make this bigger on my screen. You don't have to put the same thing, Alice, but yeah, is it any better now?
Yes, thank you. I
No
have bad
worries.
eyes.
No worries. No worries, Elif. Thanks for attending. So you pick one of these. Just use maybe which one makes. So I just put in time, and the ones with time come in. Yeah, maybe this one. Oh, this one looks better. Then I go to the AI instructions. So now what I'm going to tell the AI bot, so it's like the prompt that I'm giving to the AI engine. So I would say you are a supportive and practical study planning chatbot designed to help students organize their learning in a way that feels achievable and stress-free. Maybe I have some stuff from other places. I'll just copy and paste the same thing. After a couple of times doing this, you can just reuse the same thing. Then I can use the AI improve to improve what I've put in there automatically for me. No, it liked what I am putting in there. We're still processing. Okay, it says this is better than what you have probably. So yeah, I click on this and it uses that one. The snippet is basically, you see, like when you go to the chat support for Australia Post, you see it says like, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Are you following up on a parcel, or is it a return? So that's the sort of thing, probably we don't need it. Now, the permissions is when you put in the groups that you have created to use this. So basically, I say all the staff can use this, or Mr. Patterson's class, for example, can use this. Then the advanced tab has like the history option. You can keep the history for every data that is put in there, or could be last number of messages or last number of minutes. So Mohsen is asking, is the AI instructions the same as system prompts? Yes, kind of the same, like what the system is going to respond to. Now, multi-tab is when you want to have multiple tabs within the same chatbot used. No, iframe is when you want to embed it in your courses, LMS, etc. We don't want to do that for now. You can have some customized icon for the bot as well. And then the LLM engine, it's the engines that you can select. So that should do. And when you make this, for example, the temperature, the more the temperature goes, it is making it more random. So I'll just put it at 1 to see what it does. No worries, Andrea. Thanks for attending the session. So I saved this. Now, a couple of things here. What time management bot, that's the one. And I need to make this smaller. Sorry to show you these options. There are two options here, sidebar and published. If I make it published, other people can use this as well. So this will appear on your dashboard now. If I make this sidebar, it shows on the sidebar here. Now, Antoinette is saying, is the AI improved version suggested for use, or do you suggest we use around maybe less formally written prompts? It really depends, and it's a matter of trial and error. Sometimes it actually does a good job, but sometimes it doesn't, to be honest. Most of the time I use the AI improved version, but go through what it has put in there and see, is it really different from what you have or not? So I go to this one now, and I say, hey there, I need some help. And then it responds. I have 10 tasks to do today and 10 minutes for each. I don't want to do any of them in the morning. What do you suggest? See, now it gives me some ideas on how to do stuff. And then you can work with it as much as you want. Do we have anyone else creating a chatbot yet? I don't know if I said or not, but this will be active for 20 days, the one that we just shared with you. So feel free to use it for the next 20 days. And another thing is, if you used it, you liked it, you wanted to basically use it for your institution, we are here to help as well. Just let us know. No worries, Spice, and thanks for attending the session. Yeah. Mohsen is testing some options as well. Yeah, it's nice, I would say. It's easy to use. The full version you get is a little bit different. You get more features. There are some set bots for you to use. I'll just show you that one. So there is this general chatbot is basically for chatting about anything. There is the image generator, which is doing some nice stuff as well. So I had one like this, a student talking to AI chatbots. I just gave this, and this is what I got. There is thematic analysis for research-based purposes. There is the resource finder, which is basically finding, resources for research purposes. This can get connected to library services, making our life really easier as researchers. The well-being check. Sometimes you want to just have some chat with a chatbot for well-being. That's the one. We have some other ones for our staff as well. The journal recommender is the one that's nice as well. I want some Q1 journal. I haven't used this for a long time for IoT, for example. That's too broad. Let's see what it does. So yeah, it does that really quick, which is nice. I can give it more instructions to get better options. So we have always had that problem where we wanted to submit our papers to and we didn't know what to do and how to do it. This is making things easier for us. You see, it does a comparison. There is this. What about Shimago data? Are you checking that too? Let's see if it does. It's not checking Shimago. Where does it get it? Probably, yeah. Oh, it gets the SJR data, which is included. See, it tells me the metrics, etc., which is nice. Really helps us here at UniSA. We have got rubric generators as educators. This is a nice one as well. We can give it the assessment, etc., course learning, objectives, course aims, AQF levels, if we have existing rubrics to it, and then it does create one for us. And there is the AIO policy, which is for academic integrity officers. And I just created this chatmate support one, which is basically telling you how to set up your chatbots through chatbots. This was the idea. If you're a staff, you click on the staff. If you're a student, you click on a student. It tells you how to basically do stuff in chatmate. It doesn't have any chatbot creation, etc. So you can ask questions, how to create a chatbot. I haven't tested this yet. It's just a quick one I made, but it seems to be, yeah. Now, for example, the question that we had here, Amo-san says ChatGPT-5 is missing for us. Yes, that's the expensive one. So we haven't put it for the trial accounts and demo accounts, but with the full version, you get access to it. So I am going to use one of the questions that I think it was Antoinette asked and ask it from this one. Let's see what it says. Yeah, exactly like what I answered. So not bad, huh? Yeah, perfect. So I think we have done a lot in the time that we have. I've shown you a dashboard example, etc. I'm not going to cover this. The general chatbot is the one that I showed you. Chatbot analytics, you can access it through the analytics dashboard here. I'll show you quickly. And Lisa has a question.
Yeah, thanks, Siamak. I know that it's been super to be able to see this like task. We one of the things that we are learning in our subject, Crunch, is that tools are important. So it's really nice to be able to see a tool. I know that in the subject there are a few people who are working in the the high school or middle school or primary school phase. Do you have any examples to show use cases with these kinds of levels? Like how might that look like? Just to give an
I
idea.
think there is this year 7. I haven't created this. We have people who are working in that area for K-12 schools education, etc. at C3L, and they have created some chatbots. If they would like a specific demo for those areas, I can get those people to maybe have a demo with them to see how things are for schools. We have some schools using this as well. Maybe this PBL mate, MathMate, it looks like one of the things. Yeah. Yeah, this is about mathematics. How can you help me? We can probably give it some math. Mathematics in your project. Can you tell me more what you're working on? I am learning about year 12 math, for example. Oh, then year 1, that probably doesn't give you much. It's supposed to be. Just share what I can use for my students' literacy in mathematics, basic stuff only. It's fine if you have typos, it doesn't matter. Okay, now it's giving me some details. Now I can say create a lesson plan for a 1-hour workshop on this. So here is the lesson plan for me. And I can get more detailed. I'm just making things up. I don't know if that's exactly what people do. And it says, okay, Victorian curriculum link, nice. Provide some examples for each part of the lesson plan. Also, I need some interactive learning activities, for example. Yeah, just some food for thought. Don't know how good this is really because I'm not in that area, but I'm sure if we get someone from that area, they can definitely help. Antoinette, yes.
Hey, just wanted to say this looks great and it's very user friendly and it looks like something people can take out of the box and go create their own chatbot. So, but I just had a question on how you're positioning this to be used by teachers or educators? Do you run some sort of training? As you know, even for those who are very familiar with writing these prompts, how much of a trial and error we try and do to get it to do what we want it to do. So for someone who is not familiar with this kind of prompting technologies or how to get the best out of these large language models, like how do you imagine this being used in sort of everyday kind of authentic scenarios?
Really good question. So basically, with what we have done so far, usually when we get an institution sign up with us for having these services, we have one session to get those stuff, and that's a recorded session, to set up their accounts and to show them how things are set up, like the one that we have today, but make it 2-3 hours instead of just 10-15 minutes or half an hour. We go through how things are set up, we test some stuff together, we let them know if they want to use some of the already prefabricated, pre-made chatbots that we have designed, and they can access those if they want to. Or if they have some ideas to create chatbots, we help them make those chatbots as well. Then that's the phase that we just, we call it onboarding them. And then afterwards, if there are any issues with, importing users or getting things to work or embedding it into their LMS or any other platforms they use, we will help with those as well. And usually for the first time we help, they record it, they can reuse it again and again. And there is ongoing support as well if things break and don't work as they should. Okay. And that's for educators. For students, usually we haven't really had any issues unless there was like some students did not use the right code, the sign-up code, and they signed up to another class and they did not have access to it because they can access something that they are not registered to. And then they would send us an email and say, oh, this is not working, and then we can fix it. So the approach we usually suggest is maybe having an organization admin, and we train, or a couple of those people, train those people, then they can, help their organization. And whenever they can't, we are there to fix it for them too.
Sounds great. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of it and how students are actually using these chatbots in action. But very interesting work. Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? Oh, I forgot to share my references, but that should be fine. It's a QR code in case you want to scan it. here it is. I put it there because I didn't want to put a long list of references into one slide. So yeah, feel free to scan the QR code to have a look at the references. And again, this is ongoing project development, platform development, and it's an ongoing project. Hopefully we will make it more public after it enters Adelaide University, so everyone else can use it. But as I said, if you're interested to get it to work in your institution, let us know. And yeah, I've shared my details there as well. It was on, I think, the events page as well. And also you can contact Lisa. She has my details too. Perfect.
Okay, I'm just mindful of the time. We're 2 minutes past 5 o'clock, and I'm just going to, I guess we can formally close the session here in case people need to leave. But if Siamak, are you okay to stay back a couple of minutes just in case other people had other questions?
Sure.
But in the meantime, given the time, want to really express my appreciation to Siamak again. Thank you for taking us through this very interesting tool and all the work that's gone to it. I'm sure you get lots of expressions of interest about getting this up and running in people's own context. So thank you so much again. I'm going to stop the recording here, but we will be hanging around in case anyone has some further questions. And I just want to thank everyone as well for coming along to join the session. I hope you gained a lot out of it. Thank you. I'm going to stop the
Thank you,
recording now.
Lisa. And thank you, everyone.